So our first recipe, we are going to be making veggie fajitas, and both our recipes today are tray bakes, and I think tray bakes are a very easy way of simplifying your dinners because you just shove everything into one pan and into the oven. Another way of making our recipes kind of more lazy are using some little tricks and tips to speed things up. So we're going to be using this pre-chopped veg because we're feeling lazy, we can't be bothered to spend ages chopping up loads of vegetables. We're also going to be using this fajita seasoning mix. So again, you could pre-mix your own fajita seasoning, but to speed things up, we're going to be using this ready-made one. So before we start, we need to preheat our oven, and we're going to set the oven to 180 degrees. So the first thing we need to do is add everything into a bowl. We're going to go straight in with our roasted vegetable mix, and then we're going to add in a can of black beans, pre-cooked to save you time, and then some fajita seasoning. You're going to mix that all together in the bowl and then transfer it to a roasting tray and pop it in the oven. So this is all ready. This is all the cooking you're going to do. We're just going to put it in the oven for 25 minutes. So I'm going to be adding in some soft greens. Here we've got a bit of watercress, and the whole thing is going to be a bit of like a build your own fajita. So everything that you need is going to be in this tray, a bit like a stack of nachos but without the tortilla chips. We've got a few other things that we've bought from the shop to add as toppings or kind of fillings for our fajitas. Again, to make things a bit quicker and easier because we're feeling lazy, we've gone for a shop bought guac. Make sure you check it's vegan friendly because sometimes they put milk in these things. And then we've also gone for the Oatly creme fraiche, which is a bit like a kind of sour cream, works really well in things like fajitas. As a few optional extras, just to kind of make it look a bit more exciting, we've added in some sliced jalapeños and some pink pickled onions, and all of this you can buy pre-made in jars from the supermarket. It's so tasty, so easy, and so quick to make. It's falling apart a bit, but that's kind of what fajitas do. Our next recipe is a kind of Spanish-inspired red cabbage and vegan chorizo sausage tray bake. Doesn't really have a proper name, it's just a mishmash of delicious ingredients, and there is slightly more prep involved in this recipe than the first one because we couldn't find pre-chopped cabbage. So we're going to be chopping up our cabbage and then doing that with this lovely seasoning mix. This is kind of like a vegetable seasoning mix, and then we're going to add in a bit of agave syrup, but you could sub that out for some sugar. And then finally we've got these chorizo vegan sausages from Sainsbury's. As this is a tray bake, you're going to want to preheat your oven again to about 200 degrees, and the first thing we're going to do is chop up our cabbage and add that into a mixing bowl with our green lentils. So far in our bowl we have the red cabbage, the green lentils, the agave, the olive oil, and we've just added in some of this vegetable all-round seasoning. This essentially is a mix of salt, pepper, garlic, onion, paprika, cumin, lemon zest and chili powder. So it's just a nice little hack so you don't have to mix your own spices. If you can't find this specific brand, then any kind of Mediterranean vegetable style seasoning mix with those kind of ingredients will work really well. We're going to be adding some sliced lemon rounds into our tray. It's going to give it a really nice, fresh, zesty flavour. Make sure it's an unwaxed lemon and that you've given it a good wash before you slice it. To our own horns too much, but This does not look like a lazy dinner. It looks really impressive. If you're gonna put this down, like even at a dinner party, like people are gonna be like, wow, you spent loads of time doing this. A lot of it was pre-done, pre-mixed, pre-made, and there was barely any cooking involved. Just to add an extra little bit of like something to the top, we're gonna go back in with this all-rounder seasoning, sprinkle it up a bit on top, and then that will finish the dish off. That is so good. This spice seasoning is doing a lot of heavy lifting. Also the agave syrup in there, it does make everything quite kind of sweet, which is really nice with this spiciness. It really, yeah, brings out the sweetness in that red cabbage. The lazy option here is to have it with a nice kind of chunk of bread. If you had a little bit more time and energy and you've kind of seen this recipe and thought, oh, that might be nice for whatever occasion that's coming up, it would be really tasty with some like lemony roasted potatoes. But for essentially 3 main ingredients, your vegan chorizo sausages, green lentils and red cabbage, it's amazing how much flavour is actually in this.